So, hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel. Hope you are doing well. As you know, we have running the YouTube channel on the subject of the software engineering. Yes, so we are so much done with the subject. We have covered up the lots of thing into the form of the videos. We try to cover up the each and every corner of the subject with the medium of this YouTube videos. Now we are at the very much last stages, couple of last stages of the subject. Yes, so that is so we'll be starting the new chapter today. That is the DevOps. DevOps, the short form. It's a combination of the development plus operations. That the short form is known as a DevOps. Okay. So up till now, what we have seen the different phases of the software development life cycle, communication, planning, modeling, uh, means the designing. Then we have the implementation, testing, maintenance. Then we have seen the software configuration management, that is or the software change management, SCM, risk management, change management, and all this thing, different type of testing. We have seen that. Yes, so we have already touched the each and every corner of the software development lifecycle with the real time examples, right? So now we are move ahead with the latest, we can say the tech, or we can the latest technical role that is available into the IT industry. You will be like looking at the new roles into the market, that is a DevOps engineer or DevOps engineer and all that. So this is a new kind of role available into the technical markets, technical industry. Previously, the kind of role it will have, like you will have the software engineer, you will have the technical support engineer. So now there is a new kind of role available, that is the name is a DevOps engineer. So it is really important to understand the different scenarios of the DevOps. Okay, what exactly the DevOps means, what is the responsibility of the DevOps engineer, and what should be included into the DevOps. Okay, so in the initially for the DevOps, it's nothing but the combination of the development plus operations, right? Let's move on. So, what is a DevOps? DevOps is the combination of both development and the operations. Is a software development method that stresses communication, collaboration, and integration between software developers and information technology professionals. Thereby, so this enables rapid evaluation of the products or the services, reduces risk, improve quality across portfolio, and reduces the cost. So this is the kind of, we can say, the combination of the development and the operations. So as of now, what we are looking exactly, we when we talk about the software development, so we'll be looking about the earlier we will be looking only at the part of the coding. Now we have seen the all the software development life cycle chapter, that is a subject. Now we will look software development process is a nothing but a whole. We can say the phases of the different software development life cycle, combination of the different software development life cycle, right? Okay. So there is a different, so software development is not only limited to this only this life cycle. This is also a kind of thing related to with the operations. Now you will be asking what exactly the operation is. Okay, so operations include all the stuff the software engineering doing onto, that is connected with the software development. Like we can say the deployment of a application, server configuration, automation testing. We can say integration part of a part of application. So this is a kind of thing that is connected with the software development life cycle, though they are not included into the any phases of a software development life cycle. But these are the stages. But these are the stages that are being performed into the any software development life cycle, right? So, what exactly the operation include? Operation includes maintaining the versions of the different softwares. Today you are working on code. Tomorrow you will update the code, and the next day you will be working more and more. So ultimately, you are developing a newer and newer versions of the code. So the version management of any software. Then you have the infrastructure, means the server infrastructure, server configuration, server deployment, all this thing. Then you have the integration part of the software. You will be integrating different components of a software. then you will have the kind of testing of that, the automation testing you will have onto the server side. So this is the kind of thing that is included with a small increment of any software development modules. Okay, so this is nothing but we can say a combination of the development plus this is a kind of operation that is in the short term it called as a DevOps, right? Okay, so DevOps integration targets product delivery, quality testing, feature development, and a maintenance release in order to improve reliability and security and faster development in the de- deployment cycles. Okay. So for that, let me give you the example. What exactly in the real time scenario happens? There is a once there is a kind of thing. Let me show you the figure first of all. Uh, yes, guys. You will be. I hope you will be able to see the screen. So this is the kind of you can see the DevOps real-time DevOps server-side infrastructure that is currently most of the industry use. So let me explain you. Then I will come into the DevOps. So this is a kind of thing. The developer is like working on the code. There is a one platform that is a name as a GitHub. GitHub is used to manage the versions of a different software. That is nothing but a version control system, right? Let's say today the 10 people are working on a particular software. You are working on the software. If you have done any change, so what you will do, you will push your code into the GitHub. The another developer will pull the code from there. So it's a centralized repository over there, so centralized code management system which will be managing the different versions of a software, right? So rather than copying and pasting with the email and all that, so this is a kind of thing that is being done. So what happens exactly into the we can say to the development operation? So this is a kind of thing, the continuous integration and continuous deployment things is available there. So 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 what happens exactly there? The 10 developers are working onto the simultaneously into the code. They are committing the code into the GitHub. So at the end of the final, the software is delivered. Once the software is ready, it will be going into the testing, right? So when the testing occurs, obviously there might be the bug into that. So it is really difficult to identify the bug, like from which developers code the commit is producing, from which developers code the commit is producing. So what we are doing exactly, when any developer commit or save the code into the GitHub, one automatic testing will be started onto the server. Jenkins is nothing but the Amazon server. Jenkins is installed into the Amazon server. One automation type of testing is started onto the server. If any error or any bug is reported over there, it will be reported to the developer. Like whatsoever the code you have committed yesterday, it has some error, so please resolve that, right? If that particular code does not have a error, it will be deployed into the server. Otherwise, and if it has the error, it will be given back to the developer. So what happens exactly, rather than finding a error into the end of the product developed, right, we are finding the error when the developer save the code. So this is a kind of thing that has happened into the continuous integration, or we can say the continuous deployment. So this is a kind of thing we can say the scenario of the DevOps. This is a one scenario of the development operation scenarios, right? So this is the real-time example of the one kind of operation plus development is performed. This is called the continuous integration and the continuous deployment. Okay. So this is where the now let us come to the definition. DevOps integration targets products delivery, quality testing, feature development, and the maintenance releases in order to improve reliability and security and faster development in the development cycles. The adoption of the DevOps is being driven by factors such as the use of agile and other development process and methodologies, demand for an increased rate of production release from application and business stakeholders, wide availability of virtualized and the cloud infrastructure from internal and external providers. Yes, this is where we were using cloud providers, and increased usage of the data center automation and the configured management tools. Yes, the Jenkins is nothing but the automation, one kind of automation and the configuration tools that is now being available for that, you free available for that. Develop and test in an environment similar to the production. Yes, this is a kind of thing I have shown you with the example. Deploy builds frequently and validate operation quality continuously. So rather than checking the testing of a code at the end of the software, you will be checking the code on the each and every save of the code, or on the each and every commit. So this is a principle of the DevOps, right? So why DevOps? So this is a kind of thing. Mostly delivers feature after testing in development system. Dev systems may not be same as a production system. Developers will have faster turnaround time. Not much concerned about the infrastructure. See, so as I give you the example, uh, what is the need of the DevOps? What is the need of the DevOps? So, uh, so what exactly the developer is developing into the particular environment, so the production environment is different. The first thing is that the development in the production environment is different. Okay, then then we have, after, rather than testing the whole code into the at the end of the product, you will be checking the quality on the each and every commit. You will be checking the quality of the code onto the each and every commit, means the each and every save of the code. If any error will be there, it will be thrown out, so that we can identify on this commit of the code from this particular developer we will have the we are not meeting the quality standards, right? So this is the kind of thing that should be met with the DevOps operation. Yes. So uh, so this is a kind of thing. The developers work with the operations to understand the impact of the code changes. Developers now work more closely with the production equivalent system. Yes, production system means the live system, right, that is running onto the customer side. Operations now have more clarity on the infrastructure needs, more automation on the deployment. So this is the kind of example I have shown to you. So whatsoever the on the Jenkins you are looking at, this is a kind of development server, and onto this AWS code deploy, this is a kind of the production server, right? So once the testing is done, let's say the developer is committing a code, means saving the code, automatically testing will be started into this development server. If any error or any quality standards are not met, it will be thrown to the developer that there is some error. And if there is no error onto the coding standards, and or any no bugs available on that, so that code will be deployed into the production server, means onto the live server. So this is a kind of thing. This is a fundamentals of, you can say, the development operation scenarios, right? Yes. So this is a kind of thing that happens into the development and the operation. Okay, this is why. Uh, so now let's come into the picture. What is exactly why DevOps comes into the picture? Because of the delivery challenges, addressing delivery challenges. There are the different kind of challenges that appears. That is why development operation roles comes into the picture. First one is to managing the release, then the deployment coordination, and the third one is a deployment automation. Okay. Release management, better understanding of the risk, dependencies, and the compliance issue. Then we have the deployment coordination, better tracking of discrete activities, faster escalation of the issue, documented process control, and the granular reporting. So what exactly the deployment coordination it means? Let's say uh, is in this scenario, let's say if any developer commits the code, if any issues arises into the development server, it will not be deployed into the production server, onto the live server. Okay, so this is a kind of thing, the immediate escalation to that particular commit of a developer have some issues onto the code. So please check on that. So just think about that. This issue will be finding after the end of the complete software if we are not using this kind of DevOps infrastructure, right? So this is a kind of thing that comes into the picture. A better deployment coordination, or we can say the deployment automation. So this is a kind of thing, nothing but the whole automated process. We can say that this is a kind of thing, the a well defined whole automated process that we are using, right? Okay. So yes, this is where exactly the on the three segments the DevOps is very much useful. First one is the release management, the second one is the deployment coordination, and the third one is on the deployment automation. So this is what we have in our real time example also. So now let's move ahead. So why exactly this particular development and operation particular role and this particular thing is required into the industry? So let us take the example. We got the requirements from the customer, then it will be forwarded to the development and the testing team. The development and testing team will do the testing and then the deployment, right? So this is the kind of the once so this is a kind of thing. After the testing, it will deploy the particular software into the live server. So there is a kind of gap between the development and the final, we can say, onto the deployment. There is a kind of gap is there because, as I told you, after the software is completed, then the final testing is turn around. So in the environment, the software is developed, and in the environment, the software will be used. The software is developed is it's kind of the development environment. The software will be used as a kind of the production environment, or we can say the live environment. So there is a kind of gap is in between that. Yes, though we have done the testing, so it is a possibility that the bugs comes into that because the environments are different. The servers might change, the infrastructure might change. So this is a kind of thing. There is a kind of gap between there. So this is where the DevOps comes into the picture with the continuous testing and the continuous deployment. So every small module of a code is developed. It is being tested again and again, and once it is tested, it is being deployed into the live environment. So that the if there any environmental changes is there, production and the development server changes and environmental changes is there, it will be immediately reflected rather than the end of the software development after the all the phases of the software development. So this is where exactly the DevOps reduces the gap, or we can say the fill the gap of the between the dev and the production environment, right? So now let's talk about the agile software development methodology and the DevOps, how they are connected with each other. So yes, this is what we have seen. This is where exactly in the agile environment the DevOps fixes out, the reduces the gap. Then we have the DevOps versus the release management. Yes, yes, we have the requirements. Then we have the development and the testing team. We also have the gap over there. The gap is a kind of we can say the whatsoever the requirements is being and whatsoever the things is being developed, there is a kind of gap is over there. So what we are doing, we are adding the agile development methodology. It's quickly designing, developing, building, testing again and again and again. So this is how we are fixing that gap between the requirement and this development phase. Now we have the another gap, that is the gap between the development and the operation team. Yes, so this is a kind of the gap between the development environment and to the production environment. So that is being fixed by the development operation. So this is kind of the combination of the both agile and the DevOps fixes out the two gaps into the software development lifecycle, right? Yes, on the agile development addresses the gap between the customer requirements and the dev plus testing teams, cross-functional teams to design, develop and test the feature stories prioritized by the customer. Focuses more on the functional and the non-functional requirements. Yes, so agile development reduces the gap between your customer requirements as and the your development and the testing team. Now the next comes into the picture. DevOps addresses the gap between the dev plus testing teams and the operations, right? It will automate the release management. Thus the example we have seen into this my example, it automates the release management, right? Focus is on the functional and the non-functional plus operational and the business readiness. Yes, let's say means operational and the business readiness means you are applying the change into the code. that change should be quickly tested and it should be immediately impacted into the live environment, that is a production environment. So this is the term we are treating as a operational and the business readiness. Then we have the intensifies reusability and the automation. It intensifies reusability and the automation, right? Then agile but plus traditional release management. Yes, on to the left hand side we have the agile release management, on to the right hand side we have the traditional release management. There are the kind of different servers and the different operation teams. They are manually deploying all this thing into the left. On the right hand side, into the traditional release management, you can see the development server and to the production server, two servers, and the operation team is manually deploying the code into the both servers. While in the case of left hand side, there is the automated process in this particular whole process, right? There is automation process in this agile develop methodology. Yes, so this is a kind of thing we can. Yes, so this is the kind of thing the agile plus development operation work. The agile will reduces the gap between the requirement and the development testing team, and the DevOps will reduce the gap between the development and the production environment. So this is a really the helpful feature for that. Now, the next term comes into the picture, that is a continuous integration and the continuous delivery. So what exactly it is? This is the exact scenario what we have seen right now. So this is nothing but the example of the CI slash CD. The short form is a CI slash CD, the continuous integration and the continuous deployment. Right. So this is a kind of thing. So let's move ahead and see that. So yes, the integrates the code changes by each developer so that the main branch remains up to date. So this is the example I have shown you. There are the different multiple developers are working on the particular project. They save the code, commit the code into the central repository called the GitHub, right? So rather than what we are doing, we are continuous integrating the code into the central repository. Rather than testing on the after the whole software is generated, we are testing on each and every commit. Let's say I am a developer, I am committing a code. The automation testing will be started automatically. Another developer commits the code into the central repository, central folder. Automation testing will be automatically started. So this is a kind of thing. Yes. Uh, so let's go into again this example. Let's say the one developer commits the code into the GitHub. Automation testing will be started onto the Jenkins. Jenkins is a tool for the automation testing. It is installed onto the one server. We are calling it as a development server. If there is no issue, there is no error on that, that code will be automatically development deployed onto the server. So this is nothing but the continuous integration and the continuous deployment. Another developer comes into the picture. He commits the code into the GitHub. Again, the testing, automation testing will be started onto this particular server. Then code will be, if the testing is successful, the code will be deployed onto the server, production server, live server. This is a development server where Jenkins is installed. The live server where the particular code will be live. Yes. If the testing fails, the code will not be deployed into the live server. It will be get back to the developer that your code will not work. Check that and commit again. So this is the kind of thing we are saying. This is the continuous integration and the continuous deployment. Yes. Right? Okay. Yes. So this was all about the continuous integration, continuous deployment. This was all about the development operation, combination of the development plus the operations teams. Yes, so this is a really important role comes into the today's market, which deals with the continuous development, automation, testing, servers, and all that. Yes, so yes, so this was all about that. So thank you very much for watching our video. Have a good day. Bye bye.